Hi guys, today I'm gonna continue with one light setup, but what I'm gonna be focusing on in this video is when you're using only one light, how can you control the intensity of light that spills onto the background? Let's say here, if you have a white background like I have here, I can make it relatively black. I can control the distance and the light intensity that shines on the model versus the background. So it's, not completely white. Completely white, you will need additional light for the background, but very, very light gray. And if you move, if you change the positioning and the model of the light, you can get it black, almost black at least. Let's see how that's done. So, to show you how distance from the camera to the model and from the model to the background affects the light on the background, we're going to start with putting Christine right at the background, very close to the background, and the light is about 2 meters, is just over 2 meters away, 3 meters probably, and we're going to see how that affects. That should give us a relatively light whitish background, light gray background. So let's see. There we go. So as you can see here, it's not white to get a completely white background. You need background light. But that's not always the case. You don't always need that. And you can see on this photo there's a small shadow coming from the model to the background. So that just depends on if you put it a little, if you take the model a little bit away from the background, that's going to disappear. It's just because she's that close. So now I'm going to make the background darker. So I'm going to ask Kristen to come a little closer to the camera. Something like that. Okay. I have to change the light intensity because she is much closer. She's half closer to the camera now, so I have to change the light intensity. So she's going to be correctly lit, but because I'm not changing the distance from the light to the background, but decreasing the light, there's going to be much less light spilled onto the background. So, I don't know, let's try. I put it down 3 stops. So it doesn't really matter what my power says. It's 6.5, but you won't be able to use that. It's just like, it's 3 stops, different. So I'm going to zoom a little bit out. There we go. Okay. This is good. Okay, this is actually pretty nice. She's probably no. It's the lighting is good. Because the light is so close, you can see, because it doesn't create any ambient around the room, because the light was like before, when the light was at more distance, and you can see all the background is white, so the light bounces everywhere and it creates a little fill light, little ambient light. So you can see now the shadow side is darker. This is me from the future, and when I was editing the video, I realized that I forgot to mention something which can happen when you're doing stuff like this on the fly without a script. You just have it in your head. So what I forgot to mention is I did talk about it I did start to talk about it, but then for some reason I just stopped it. In the first photo, the light is much further away from the model. Model standard at the background, but light is much farther away than in the second or the third photo. Then the model is closer to the light, and I just move everything from second to third to darken the background. I move the model and the light further away from the background at the same light intensity, so less light travels to the background. So what I could have done was I wouldn't have needed to take the light so far away from the model in the first photo, but I wanted you to see the difference in how the light works like that, because like I mentioned, when the light is far away like this, and you need a lot of light to reach across the room, and everything is white, the floor is white, the walls are white, everything is white, so the light bounces and it fills the area with more light, so you don't see the shadow you will see on the second and the third photo. You know, it's more evenly lit, which makes it a little bit flat, and I don't particularly like that. That's why usually my style of portrait shooting is to have the modifier relatively big and very close to the subject to create depth, and also what it does, the shadows you get are softer, not as hard. If you have a big modifier close, opposed to then you get soft shadows. But opposed to if you have a small modifier far away, the shadows get more defined or harder shadows. Like for example, in the middle of the day outside, if you're shooting in the middle of the day, the sun is very high, small, and you receive hard shadows. When the sun is coming down, it's closer, it's bigger, it's softer, it's nicer. But enough about that, I just wanted to clear this up. I will talk about big and small modifiers in more detail in another video, but let's continue. So now let's try to make the background even darker. So for that, I'm just gonna basically not change everything. I'm just gonna move us away more from background. So let's do that. You too. Something like that. A little closer. There we go. So as you can see, the difference from this photo and to this photo. So that's it. Now you should know how to control the amount of light hits the background versus your model when using only one light. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.